If you have just discovered that your spouse is having an affair, it is really important to take a step back and not try to make any decisions about your future yet. Realize that you have just been hit over the head with a sledgehammer of ugly truth where thinking clearly enough to make any long term decisions is next to impossible. You're probably finding yourself in the midst of an emotional roller coaster from hell. You might be going through anger, fear, maybe even rage and overwhelming shock and sadness. So before you make any kind of decisions, here is my advice to you. Here are 9 things you should do when you find out that your spouse is having an affair. Number one, as I mentioned earlier, don't make any rash decisions. Call a trusted friend or family member instead. It can really help you to have someone at the other end of the line to share your experience and terrifying feelings with. Call or go see a loved one who supports and encourages you. Avoid calling on anyone who tends to be judgmental, critical, or biased. And if you think you are so distraught where you think you might physically hurt yourself or someone else, please seek a medical professional right away. Number two, accept your feelings. Whatever you're going through right now, whether it's shock, anger, pain, confusion, rage, overwhelming sadness, understand that all of this is normal and temporary. So don't judge yourself. Number three, take revenge off the table completely. Although you might be seeing red right now and payback might sound like a proper response, consider this. Having an affair as retribution will most likely only make things so much worse, especially if your marriage was a good one and you feel that it's still worth saving. Don't do anything to compromise your values and integrity. No one is worth this. And in the same respect, doing anything physical to hurt your spouse or their lover is a big no no. Although it might seem warranted, and yes, you would probably feel good temporarily for a moment, really, it will not do anything to undo what has happened, right? And come on, do you really need law enforcement involved as well? Violence is never, ever, ever the answer. And remember, there is a lot to unpack here in this terrible situation. There are a lot of questions that need answers. And by you going after your spouse or the other person, you might never get the chance to get these answers. You will only be adding more layers of drama to the situation. Again, if you feel that you might go down this rabbit hole, please seek help immediately. Number four, remove blame. It is important to remove the self blame and accept that your spouse made the horrible decision to have an affair. They are responsible for their behavior, not you. Sometimes a person can be in a relationship where their partner gives them everything they need and want, but they still cheat and seek more from someone else. If that's the case here, it is important to know that this is a personal and internal issue that they have and that has nothing to do with you. Don't do what many people do and spend days or weeks trying to figure out what you did wrong or feel that you're not good enough or that something must be wrong with you. I remember driving myself crazy, blaming myself fully for my husband's infidelity. I remember going through all of the should haves. I should have done this. I should have done that. Maybe if I did this. It's nonsense. There is nothing that warrants an affair as far as I'm concerned. There are many other ways to deal with unhappiness or trouble in a marriage. Cheating is never one of them. Of course, this is not to say that you shouldn't take time for self reflecting. On the contrary, owning your side of the street and the things that you have done to contribute to the breakdown of the marriage is a crucial step to recovering from an affair. And if it should come down to it, recovering from divorce. However, this very moment is not the time to do so. Right now, you need to navigate yourself out of crisis mode. With the same respect, If you feel that your marriage was good up until now, perhaps this is not the time to do any finger pointing. It is really important to table all of the blame for the time being if your goal is to save your marriage, that is. Now, this brings me to number 5, consult a marriage counselor. Understanding the reasons why the infidelity happened in the first place is the best way to help you navigate the road to recovery. So, seeking help from a licensed therapist who is experienced in dealing with infidelity is crucial right now. Even though you might have a deep desire to understand what happened right now, don't go into the intimate details of the affair with your spouse right away. Doing so without the guidance of a professional might only make matters worse. It might just harm things, not help any. Marriage therapy can help put the affair into perspective, help identify issues that might have contributed to the affair, and teach you ways to rebuild trust and strengthen the relationship in order to avoid divorce. Again, if that's the goal. Number 6, give each other space. The discovery of an affair is so intense. As you try to wrap your head around what has happened, you might find yourself behaving in ways and doing things that you normally wouldn't do. First, know that this is normal. So give yourself time and space, and give your partner some time and space. And try to avoid emotionally charged discussions as you begin the healing process. And if possible, save the intense conversations for your marriage therapy. Number 7, keep your children shielded from this. Children should be kept away from these fights and conversations. Remember, they are innocent bystanders. These issues are between the two of you, and they should be shielded from this as much as possible until or if it comes down to divorce. Number 8, take your time to decide what's best for your future. Remember, you don't need to decide right away. Before you choose to continue or end your marriage, especially if you have children, please take time to go through marriage counseling so you can gain perspective, heal, and understand what was behind the affair and whether or not this marriage is worth saving or not. Now, this is, of course, assuming that your partner is deeply and genuinely sorry for the betrayal and willing to work for your forgiveness. And number 9, focus on your well-being. I know this is easier said than done, but you are going through a series of emotional challenges right now, and taking care of your physical and mental health are crucial to how you process your circumstances and how you make important decisions about your future moving forward. So instead of giving into the fear, try to shift your focus onto things that are good for you, such as exercising, meeting with friends, or picking up a hobby that you put off for years. And again, even if your spouse refuses to go to marriage counseling, you should really still go. That's the first step to making sure that you're protecting your mental health. Infidelity can happen in all kinds of marriages. And contrary to popular belief, it can even happen in marriages that seem happy, not just the marriages that have problems. And infidelity may happen for many reasons, like neglect, lack of communication, sex, physical or mental health issues, addiction, major life changes, midlife crisis, etc., etc. And discovering your spouse is having an affair can leave you feeling shocked, traumatized, and questioning everything about your partner, your self-worth, and your marriage. I know this because I have been in your shoes. And recovering from this god-awful event can be one of the most challenging times in your life and in your marriage. So please take time, seek professional help. And again, if your partner refuses to go, please go to the therapist on your own. Having an experienced professional will not only help guide you during this most difficult traumatic time, but one-on-one counseling can also help you address the areas within yourself that you may need to work on so that you can be the very best version of yourself and move on to a happier and better life. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Again, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload new videos. Thanks again, and I will see you next time. Take care.